Good evening, Lagos. You're welcome to the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Amina Ojelabi, and I'm your host for today. And I have here with me Anosike Peter, a political and social analyst. And of course, you know how we do it. Here on the recap, we discuss some of the major issues that trended during the week. And this is a way of keeping you updated with the news. And now, don't forget, we are streaming live on YouTube on VOP 90.3 live. And of course, we are going to be doing this from the hour of this 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock. So don't go nowhere. And if you're just joining in, make sure you don't touch the dial, because we have a lot of stories to dissect and on today's episode of the program. Now let's take the headlines first, which says 2027 presidency. I'm not editing this headline, just the way it is. I say the way it is so that we can know exactly what we're talking about, how we're going to dissect the story. 2027 presidency. No candidate can win without the North. Hakeem Baba Ahmed says that. And the second one is Tinubu inherited extremely bad government. Ribado says that your statement based on political frustrations. Senate replies Bakari. The Finnish court approves Simon Ekpa's extradition to Nigeria in July. That was a feature under one of the media stories. Southeast has resolved to support Tinubu in 2027. Senator Orji Uzo Kalu says that. And in 2027, those forming coalition against Tinubu are content creators. That the statement was from Adara Molu. And now let's get right into the topic for discussions today. Now let's get right into the details for today. The number one story, 2027 presidency. No candidate can win without the North. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. Now the news and details. Former special advisor to President Bola Tinubu, Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, has declared that no candidate can clinch Nigeria's presidency in 2027 without the North support. He's speaking during a video interview in Kaduna alongside Professor Usman Yusuf. Baba Ahmed stressed that in the next 6 months, the North would define its political direction, warning that if the rest of the country chooses not to align, the North would chart its own course. Baba Ahmed lamented the region's continued marginalization despite previous sacrifices, urged Northerners to reject divisive politics and deceptive leaders. Reflecting on past insurgency, the leader's disappointment, he emphasized that the North had grown wiser after years of hardship under Boko Haram attacks and political neglect, insisting the region now demands a leader based on competence, North ethnicity or religion. Now, the last paragraph, issuing a stern caution against electoral malpractice, Baba Ahmed warned that any attempt to sideline the North in 2027 would destabilize the nation. He said, and I quote, "Enough is enough." Urging Northern voters to prioritize integrity and real solutions over identity politics as the region prepares to leverage its political strength with renewed determination. Wow, now, Anosike, we have somebody here speaking on behalf of the North. First of all, what do you think about the story? But let me throw my question. Now, Dr. Baba Ahmed wants that no presidential candidate can win without the North support. Is that a yes or no? Answer that. A quick question. Yes or no?
Well, the numbers is in favor of the North, and politics is about numbers.
So, okay, that's a yes. So how do you think this how mighty this assertion reshape coalition building strategies across Nigeria's diverse political landscape ahead of 2027?
Well, for me, I want to start with a statement. for northerners talking about marginalization. So for me, it is a joke because these people have been marginalizing the other part of the country. They have been giving the impression that they are the owners of this country. They have been giving the impression that they are the owners of the country. So for the North to begin to talk about marginalization, because since 1960 up to today, we've had far more presidents, head of state from the North than from the South. Understand me? Okay, within this democracy, which began in 1999, we've had that power have been rotating between North and South. Even though it started with Obasanjo, we had Obasanjo from the South. We have Yaradua up there. We have Jonathan. We have Buhari. And we are having Tinubu now. And maybe 2027 or 2031, power will go to the North. So you can see equity. But under the military rule, from 1960, when we had Abubakar as prime minister, from then it has been Gowon, Murtala Mohammed, Obasanjo, then Shehu Shagari, Buhari, Babangida, Abacha, Abudu Sandam. So they have dominated the leadership in the country. But the problem is they don't know what to do with power.
Now, you mentioned that maybe in 2027 that power might come from the North. Which of the political leaders are you looking at, and which party do you think?
I say maybe in 2027.
Okay.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
2027 is still far. And I have said it over and over that 24 hours is a long time in politics. 2027
is far, but right now they have been preparing themselves for 2027. You will quite agree with me.
He said within the next 6 months that they will come out with their whatever. So for me, the issue that for the Northerner that the cry of marginalization, why they have been the one that have been marginalizing other parts of the country. To me, it's a joke. But saying that nobody can become president without the North, it is obvious that it is the North that made the Obasanjo president.
Exactly.
It is the North that made the Buhari, Tinubu president. Because in 1999, the Southwest voted for Ondufane. Understand me? Why? And that was under AD. Why the North voted for Obasanjo under PDP?
So let's go into the next story. Tinubu inherited extremely bad government, says Ribadu. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has said President Bola Tinubu's administration inherited an extremely bad government, particularly in the area of national security. Speaking during a condolence visit to Benue State over the recent massacre of more than 72 people by suspected herdsmen, Ribadu condemned the killings and urged residents to support the federal government effort rather than politicize the crisis, assuring them that restoring peace remained a top priority. Now, Ribadu acknowledged the challenges, noting that while it is impossible to deploy security forces to every community, significant progress has been made since Tinubu assumed office. He said, and I quote, "We have considerably reduced the violence we met. To cause harm is easy. To cause harm is easy. Solving it takes time. Give us a chance, he appealed, promising that the government would confront the latest surge in attacks with renewed commitment. Now, you're going to react to that statement. Responding, Benue State Governor Reverend Hayasid Alia described the situation as a dark and painful chapter for the state, which has endured relentless violence since 2011. This latest attack comes amid a troubling rise in killings across Benue and Plateau State, where communities have been repeatedly targeted over the past 2 years, weeks rather, leaving scores dead and many others wounded. Now, would you want to react to this statement? Let me quote again in case you didn't get that statement. Well, he said, and I quote, "We have considerably reduced the violence we met. To cause harm is easy. Solving it takes time. Give us a chance," he appealed, promising that the government would confront the latest surge in attacks with renewed commitment.
I want to start with what Baba Ahmed. I didn't finish what I was saying before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he said nobody can become president without the North.
The North, yeah.
So nobody can become president without the South too. Understand me? Because the win.
The South is we have Southwest, we have Southeast.
He talked of North.
Okay.
He didn't say Northeast.
North is
South. So we have 19 states in the North. 17 states in the South. And you need 24 states to win the presidency of the country. Understand me? So the North don't have 24 states that will give them presidency. And the South don't have 24 states to give them a presidency. So to win the president of Nigeria, you need a combination of the North and the South. The North cannot do it alone, and the South cannot do it alone. So this is what I want him to also know. Understand me? The North cannot produce president on their own. The South cannot produce president on their own. There must be a collaboration. Understand? Because the North has 19 states. The South has 17 states. And you need a two-third to win the president of the country. So no region in the country can do it on their own.
Yes, exactly.
The North cannot do it on their own. The South cannot do it on their own. Before anybody wins, it needs a combination of the North and the South. So you cannot just say we'll produce. No. For a Northerner to emerge president, he needs vote from the South. And for a Southerner to emerge president, he needs vote from the North.
Now, given Ribada's acknowledgement of inheriting an extremely bad government, like he quoted, what specific systematic failures in security architecture has the Tinubu's administration identified? And how do you think they are being urgently addressed?
Well, he said that they have considerably reduced the violence that they met, but it's a lie. Rather than reducing, it is increasing every day by day. Understand me? After saying this in Benue, yesterday there was killing in the same state.
As of last week, we're all saying all around the media that we need the president back in the country to solve the insecurity situation, and here we are, because we met in closed-up meeting with the Security Council. How come this is still happening under his nose when he's around?
No, security is not like a bulb. You switch it off and everywhere will be in darkness. You switch it on and everywhere will be on. Understand me? It takes a process. But you must have the competence to do that, which this government don't have. He said that they inherited a very terrible administration with regard to insecurity. And this is a government, this is a APC taking over from APC. Buhari was of the APC. They used that Buhari was a major general and will fight insecurity more than a ordinary civilian in the person of Goodluck Jonathan. That was one of the reasons why Buhari was voted into presidency. That as a general in the army, he knows how to fight insecurity more than a civilian in the person of Goodluck Jonathan. So Buhari was voted in unquote. Now, this security become far worse under a general than a civilian. So, and Nuhu Rebadu was among those that campaigned for Buhari. That is a general who is going to tackle insecurity. It is the same him that's not talking about inheriting a terrible government. So we have not moved an inch from where Buhari left the country. Rather, it is getting worse.
Should we start identifying some of this terrorists? Should we start naming the terrorists or the recent ones that just erupted from nowhere? So let me ask this question: How do you think the federal government plan to rebuild public trust in its security response to these happenings around in the country?
One, they have no answer. They have no capacity. They have no political will to do it. What they are thinking now is how to manipulate, how to rig 2027 election. So they don't care about other people. So there's no need of building public trust. If you have INEC in your pocket, you don't need whether people vote or they no vote. Understand me? INEC has a supermarket where they can buy votes.
Now, what is the faith of democratic system that we operate in the Nigeria right now? Because if the vote of the people does not count, and a lot of them are looking ahead of regional elections in 2027, we even see we have a lot of issues happening around where we've been advocating for the president to come to the country to solve this crisis, and now we keep hearing defecting into power, and it seems like the 2027 is what they are really up to now. What they're trying to plan right now. So right now, what do you think is happening in this country?
One, governance has stopped in Nigeria. Democracy died on 18th of March, the day that Buhari declared state of emergency in Rivers State. That was the day that democracy died in Nigeria. So as we speak, governance has stopped in the country. What is reigning now is defection.
Defection to political parties.
Defection is what is reigning now. So governance has stopped. So until after 2027, governance will begin. Okay,
we'll come back to that. Let's go into the next story. Your statement based on political frustration. Senate replies Bakare. Now, the Senate has rebuffed recent criticisms from Pastor Tunde Bakare, describing his comment on the National Assembly's role in River State Emergency Declaration and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension as politically motivated and misleading. In a statement by Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu, the lawmakers said while they respect citizens' right to free speech, Bakare's remarks crossed the line into unwarranted invective and risked undermining public trust in democratic institutions. Now, maybe before I go into the story, I should quickly take the story on Adaramolu. Now, let me take the story from Adaramolu so you can actually understand what he's trying to say. Now, Adaramolu says 2027, those forming coalition against Tinubu are content creators. Now, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, has dismissed ongoing coalition talks amongst opposition figures as mere content creation with no threat to President Bola Tinubu's 2027 re-election bid. Now, speaking to journalists in Ado-Ekiti after the Ekiti APC caucus endorsed Tinubu for his second term, Adaramodu described the political movement led by figures like Atiku Abubakar and Nasir El-Rufai as entertainment fueled by desperation rather than genuine political strength. Now, he also praised President Tinubu's economic and security reforms, asserting that the administration's achievement in less than 2 years have already revitalized critical sectors and uplifted citizens' lives. Yes, sir, we'll come to that. He urged Nigerians to ignore the coalition rhetoric and instead rally behind the president's renewed hope agenda, assuring the APC remains solid and unshaken by opposition propaganda and falsehoods. Oh, we have two stories for you to talk about back to back. And now the Senate replies Bakare. Says the Senate has rebuffed a recent criticism Okay, that's Pastor Tunde Bakari, but they also responded to Adara Mojo. But let's take Adara Mojo, what he said. What do you think about that? Let's start from where he said that less than 2 years, the country, the critical sectors have really improved, and Nigerians, the citizens, the life citizens of Nigerian lives. I mean, what am I even starting? Because I don't even know where to begin. He has uplifted, the administration has uplifted the citizens' life in the country in 2 years.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't have respect for these people. Understand me? That's one of the reasons why I don't have respect for these people. I have said that the honorable being attached to the people in the National Assembly should be removed. These are a bunch of fraudsters. Understand me? These are crooks. Understand me? So calling a crook a fraudster, understand me, an honorable, to me doesn't go well. So that's why personally I don't have any respect for these people. So if I'm to score Tinubu's 2 years in office, I will not give him up to 10%. If I'm to score Tinubu's 2 years in office, I will not give him up to 10%. For me, he had done nothing. It has been 2 years of waste. It has been 2 years of waste. We measure governance by the quality of life of the people. Understand me? What is the quality of life of Nigerians in the last 2 years? Tinubu inherited fuel at 400 naira per liter. How much is fuel selling today? Tinubu, how much did he inherit the exchange rate? What is exchange rate today? Understand me? So in the area of economy, in the area of security, in all those critical sectors, Tinubu had failed woefully. In all those critical sectors, Tinubu has failed woefully. So anybody that sees otherwise has a mental problem. Anybody that says otherwise is living in denial. Understand me? So for me, that I'm wondering, maybe his family have been uplifted. World Bank said more Nigerians will enter into poverty in 2027. That by 2027, Nigeria and Congo will become among the poorest nations in the world. So what has Tinubu done? Is it economy? Is it inflation? Is it security?
And this World Bank statistics, Bureau, what should it say about our politicians in the country? They are all on social media. They're seeing the figures. They're seeing what the international stance on Nigerians' economic reform is. You can see the rate of poverty in the country. And we're talking about defection, coalition, defection from APC to PDP. We need to, we what APC has to, take over all the states in the country. Now, how do you think that the international scene is seeing Nigerian politicians? I mean, don't they even have conscience themselves? Because I just tend to think about it.
Well, for me, the international community will be seeing Nigeria as stupid people. Understand me? They will be seeing Nigerians as foolish people. Example: when Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, was on a state visit to another country, a 17-year-old boy was stabbed in Paris. He cut short his visit and returned to France. Tinubu was in France. 200 Nigerians were killed. Tinubu remained in France. So how do you think that Emmanuel Macron will be seeing Tinubu? To him and to French people, this man did not value the life of his people. Short and simple. To Emmanuel Macron and to French people, Tinubu don't value the life of Nigerians, because Macron cut short his stay visit to another country when a 17-year-old boy was stabbed. he returned back to his country immediately. Understand? But Tinubu was in the same France. 200 Nigerians were killed. He stayed put where he was. So what does that shows you? Understand me? So they will be looking at Nigerians as people who are not supposed to be breathing the same air with them. Understand me? They will be looking at Nigerians as people who are not supposed to be breathing the same air with them, who are not supposed to share the same word with them. Understand me? So if there's any way they can create another word for Nigerians and push us there, they will do that.
Are you talking about another world or another planet? I know, no, we should be in another planet, not the same word. Because if the white, I mean, we are the blacks. We're talking about the blacks or not even being racial right now, because we still have some countries.
Nigerians. This will not happen in Kenya. It will not happen in South Africa.
In other country, yes.
So I'm talking of Nigeria.
No, Nigeria should be put on another planet, not in the same world. So let's take this. I'd rather reading this before they took the last story, where the Senate replies Bakari. They say your statement is based on political frustrations. Now, the Senate has rebuffed recent criticisms from Pastor Tunde Bakari, describing his comment on the National Assembly rule in Rivers State Emergency Declaration and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaha's suspension as politically motivated and misleading. In a statement by Senator spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu, the lawmakers said while they respect citizens' right to free speech, Bakari's remarks crossed the line into unwarranted invective and risked undermining public trust in democratic institutions. Adaramodu, acknowledging Bakari's stature as both a cleric and political figure, argued that the pastor's latest statement were laced with content and unsubstantiated claims influenced by his political ambitions. He stressed that the Senate operates within constitutional boundaries and warned against framing principled legislative processes as hostility toward the executive, adding that real institutional maturity lies in result-driven engagement, not performative hostility. Now, responding further, the Senate dismissed Bakari's references to past political crises, asserting that the 10th National Assembly had never entertained unconstitutional overtures. Now, the question is, Mr. Anisike, in defending its action, how does the Senate reconcile public perception of political bias with its constitutional mandate, especially in sensitive matters like the Rivers State Emergency Declaration and high-profile suspension?
Well,
now, let's start with, do you think Pastor Bakari is right on his assertion?
Well, I'm not a fan of Tunde Bakari, understand me? I'm not interested in him. I'm not respecting him.
Why?
In 2011, when he ran as Buhari's running mate. Understand me? I lost respect for him in 2011 when he was Buhari's vice presidential candidate.
What if he had a God calling to make Nigeria better? Don't you think so?
God doesn't call incompetent people. Go and read your Bible. God has no business with incompetent people. God did not use any incompetent person in the Bible. Everybody that God used has capacity. Because God is not a God of abandoned projects. Every project that God has a hand in is complete. So God cannot use somebody like Tunde Bakari. Understand me?
Okay.
Tunde Bakari told Nigerians that he will be the 16th, that God told him that he will be the 16th president of Nigeria. Which means that he will be all the one to succeed Muhammadu Buhari. Understand me? So in 2023, he went and bought APC presidential form for 100 million. But did not contest for the primary. Understand me? So this shows you that God don't have a hand in him. Because whatever God starts, God completes. God is not a God of abandoned projects. Understand me? So, Tunde Bakari is a man like like me and every other person outside there, understand? Now using God's name to kind of do some hyping.
We're not there when he received the revelation, so we cannot say.
Nobody talked to him. Understand me?
Okay.
If God was with him when he ran for the vice president of Buhari in 2011, he would have won.
Are you being biased because he's a cleric and he wants to go into politics? So how do we marginalize? You can also, a cleric can also go into politics.
Yes, I say, if God was with Tunde Bakari when he ran in 2011 as vice presidential candidate to Buhari, he would have won. Understand me? Because there's no way God will have a hand in something and that thing will fail. Go and check how Babylon was conquered.
Okay, let's go into the next story. We come back to that.
No.
We are not analyzing by biblical.
No, I'm telling you because he was also quoting the
Bible of
using God's name, and most Nigerians use God's name to commit fraud. Understand me? So what he said, I don't want to talk about the messenger. Let me focus on the message. The message was right. Understand me? What he said in his message was apt. It was correct.
Okay.
Understand me? This is the worst Senate that we have ever had in this country.
Starting from the name of the Senate president, do you think he has actually done well?
I said this is the worst Senate that we have done, we have had in this country. We have not had it as bad as this. I was thinking that the 9th Senate would be the worst, but I don't know that was just an introduction. This is the worst Senate that we have ever had. Understand me? So condemning the action of the Senate, are you aware that Senate are not condemned what happened in Benue? They have not condemned what happened in a Plateau State.
We can actually talk about where the Senate president is right now. Where is the Senate president on the news? What can you read? What do you read about him?
No. Or the president is a Muslim, or the vice president is a Muslim. So the Senate president is a Christian.
So he could represent the country.
So he is the one that's supposed to represent all the country in Rome.
Oh, okay.
Understand me? But who does not make a monk? That Akpabio is going to Rome where Pope is being buried does not make him a nice person. Understand me? So that's the thing. But the issue is what Bakari said is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Then for Daramona, he is talking about content creating. It is the presidency that is creating content.
You talk about his media aid as well.
That's time. It is the presidency that is creating content. Understand? In 2013-14, when they were bringing up APC, when they formed a coalition to remove Goodluck Jonathan, was it out of desperation? Understand me? So it's people who are condemning what they have done. So for me, I don't even see Tinubu as a strong candidate. I've never seen him as a strong candidate from day one. Even in 2027, the only reason is because we have corrupt institutions. We have corrupt institutions. Assuming that INEC is truly independent. Understand me?
Yes.
Assuming that INEC is truly independent and we go for 2027 election, Tinubu will come forth. Understand me? Tinubu will come forth. And only people who have suffering in their DNA, only people who God specially created to suffer will vote for him. Because you cannot pass through this thing that we've gone through in the last 2 years and still want to vote for him. But why people are forming a coalition is because we don't have a credible that's INEC. We don't have an independent judiciary. So all hands should be on deck to defeat him. and not really that Tinubu is a candidate. Is a good candidate. Do an appraisal of him, he will not score up to 20%.
All right, you're still listening to the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and we have been doing this all the way from 4 o'clock, and we draw the curtain at 6 o'clock in the evening. So right now we have taken a few stories on the headlines that have made the news earlier in the week, and we are still on the story. But before I continue, you can drop some of your comment on the stories we have dissected or to analyzed so far on 0817-175-6338. We are also streaming live on YouTube at VOP 90.3 FM live. You can also drop your comments there, because I'm going to be taking a few comments. I'm seeing some comments running in. Okay, we have like over 10 comments or thereabout. So I'm going to be taking a few comments on YouTube as well, and of course on WhatsApp. I'll call it again, 0817-175-6338. I'm not going to call the phone lines now because I'm not ready to open the phone lines for your contributions. Yeah, but you can drop your comments. I would keep saying them, and I'll go through them when the time comes. Now, the next story: the Finnish court approved Simon Ekpa's extradition to Nigeria in July. In a major legal breakthrough, a Finnish court has approved the extradition of Simon Ekpa, a self-styled Biafran separatist leader, to Nigeria. And now the Pajadhim District Court in Lati ruled that Ekpa, accused of inciting violence and coordinating criminal activities from abroad, will be handed over to Nigerian authorities on July 15, 2025. Ekpa will lead the self-created autopilot group, and the Biafra Liberation Army, BLA, has been linked to kidnappings, assassinations, and violent sit-at-home enforcement across Nigeria's southeast. Actions IPOB leadership has firmly distanced itself from reiterating its commitment to non-violence. Now, Ekpa's arrest followed months of surveillance by Finnish authorities, culminating in a rare extradition agreement under international law and the Rome Statute, with both Finland and Nigeria have ratified. Nigerian officials have hailed the ruling as a significant win against a foreign-sponsored destabilization effort, with a senior defense ministry official calling it a triumph for justice and strong warning to enemies of the Nigerian state. They said, and I quote, despite Finland's typical strict extradition policies, the court concluded that sufficient evidence of cross-border criminality warranted the decision. And once extradited, Ekpa will face charges of terrorism, incitement, conspiracy, and crimes against the Nigerian state, in a trial expected to attract significant international attention. Now, human rights organizations are already preparing to monitor the proceedings closely as the Nigerian government seeks to use the high-profile case to reinforce its stance against separatist violence and protect national unity. Now, the question is, Mr. Anosike, now, how does Nigeria plan to ensure that Simon Ekpa meets international human rights standards, especially given the global scrutiny already building around his extradition?
For me, that shouldn't be the case. Understand? One, who murders should be murdered. Understand me? So I'm in support of him being brought to Nigeria and for him that to face a trial, and if he's found guilty, to face maximum punishment, because this guy is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is a criminal, is a terrorist, and don't deserve any mercy. So for me, I don't want to care about his human right at all. I don't want to care about his human right, because the people that he has brainwashed and are killing in the East, what is their own fundamental human rights? So I pray that he is brought into this country, understand me, and let them try him, and if he is found guilty, let the court pronounce maximum punishment.
Yeah, that's really a good one. Now, considering IPOB's public disavowal of Ekpa's violent method, how might this extradition reshape both separatist agitation and government's responses in the southeast?
I have said it over and over, even before his arrest, that Ekpa was never fighting for Biafra. Ekpa was using Biafra to make money. Understand me? What Ekpa did is what Asari and Dokobo did. Asari Dokobo used the problem in Niger Delta to make money. So these people are not really interested in the welfare or the well-being of their people. They just use it to look. They are killing our people. They are killing our people. Understand? So, gullible people are donating money to them. So he sees Biafra as an avenue to make money, and he was using Biafra to make money. He was not genuinely fighting for Biafra. He was not genuinely fighting for Biafra. That's why I was happy when I heard that he has been arrested, and I read that he will go there to court this in May. That's next month, isn't it?
Yes,
that
yes.
He will go there to court.
In May.
That you go there to court in Finland in May. I wasn't really happy when the Finnish government said that they are going to try him over there, because Finland is a country that fundamental human rights are observed. In Finland, if you don't get the 260, you can sue the government and get
away with it.
Justice. So it is far better than Nigeria, and their prisons are also far better than some of the hotels in Nigeria. So I don't want a Simon Ekpa that's in such a country. He should come to Nigeria.
Let's examine Nigerian judicial system. If successfully brought to Nigeria, how do you think the Nigerian justice system will take this case? Looking at the cases, the Nigerian judicial system cases that we've heard about, how case has been mishandled, and some cases have been mishandled in the country. How do you think the Nigerian justice system will take the case of Simon Ekpa?
Well, for me, Simon Ekpa has claimed responsibility for the murder of soldiers in the southeast.
Okay.
He has taken responsibility for the murder of policemen in the southeast. The evidences are there. Understand me? And this is what terrorists do. When they strike, they claim responsibility. And he's a criminal gang in Nigeria and are doing this in the name of IPOB. So when somebody is killed and Simon Ekpa claims responsibility, the soldiers will go on the plaza and will burn a whole village, kill a whole people, because somebody has said we did this. So for me, he needs to answer to his crimes. Understand? If he is found guilty, let a maximum punishment be meted on him. He is one of the troubles in the southeast. Understand me? He has destroyed a lot of things in the southeast, and sincerely, I don't wish him well.
Okay, let's go into the story. You're still listening to the recap on 90.3 FM. Like I said, we're doing this till the hour of 6 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock I'm going to be opening the phone lines, but before then you can leave a comment as we're streaming live on YouTube at VOP 90.3 FM live, and I'll be picking some of the comment. I can see the comments running there. It's a bit like 25 comments here. Yeah, that's pretty much, but I'm going to be taking them. Trust me, I won't leave anyone out of it. And now for your WhatsApp, you can leave also a comment comment on WhatsApp and, of course, call on 0817-175-6338. On the hour of 5 o'clock, I start picking up your calls. And before then, save the number to call in 0803-692-9933. We're still dissecting some of the issues that made the news. Now, the next story is Southeast has resolved to support Tinubu in 2027. Senator Ujo Kalu says the Southeast has resolved to back President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027, emphasizing a united front among APC leaders in the region. Speaking after an Abia APC stakeholders meeting at his Abuja residence, Kalu noted that party members had agreed to bury their differences and work collectively to reclaim Abia State from the Labour Party and strengthen the party's base ahead of the next general elections. Kalu revealed that President Tinubu had personally urged APC leaders across state to prioritize reconciliation, adding that the benefit of aligning with the federal government were already evident through ongoing federal interventions in Abia North. The people of Abia and Southeast stand to gain more by working with the center, Kalu said in a quote. I take that again. He said in a quote, the people of Abia and the Southeast stand to gain more by working with the center. He also expressed expressing gratitude to both former President Buhari and Tinubu for their support to the region. Now, the former Abia governor stressed that Tinubu had voiced dissatisfaction with the political disunity in Abia and charged leaders to reunite the party. He also assured that no stakeholders will be left behind in rebuilding the process. Now, the question is, last week we took a story, was it this we took, where a lot of people said that it doesn't speak for the people of Abia State. But here is a question. Senator Kalu emphasized a united front for the Southeast and backing President Tinubu for 2027. How do you respond to concerns that such unity may come at the cost of regional autonomy and political representations within the APC?
Well, I feel that this should be one of the issues we discussed last week.
Yes, when a lot of people were saying, oh, they don't speak, you shouldn't speak for Abia people. And here is it again in the news.
Well, for me, Ojekano one spoke for himself and his APC members, who are very few in Abia State.
Now he's calling for a unity among the parties and, of course, extension of brother people to join the party and support President Tinubu in 2027.
Armed robbers do call for unity among themselves. Understand me? Terrorists do call for unity among themselves. So it's not strange that Kano is calling for unity among themselves. So for me, Kano, for the 8 years that Kano was the governor of Abia State, he fought Obasanjo. For the 8 years that he was the governor of Abia State, he fought Obasanjo. He wasn't on the same page with Obasanjo, who was at the center, even though that he was in PDP and Obasanjo was also in PDP. Later, he moved out of PDP and formed the PPA, Progressive People's Alliance, and people had sympathy for him because he deceived them that Obasanjo was not doing well for the Southeast. So they voted for his governors. That was how Theodoji became the governor of Abia State, and Ike Don Hakim became the governor of Imo State. So, but there's a saying that you can deceive some people sometimes, but you cannot deceive all the people all the time. So as we speak, Kano cannot deceive Southeasterners anymore. Kano cannot deceive Southeasterners anymore. So Abia State begin to witness governance from 2023 when Annex Oti came on board. The 24 years of Kano Theodoji and Ekpa was years of waste. Understand? Was years of waste. So, and nobody will go back to anything Ojo Zakano in Abia State anymore. That are not Southeast. So he's looking for his own interest. Understand? He wants to use the Southeasterners to advance to further his own interest, but it's not going to work.
Okay, so let's take one more story. I don't think we are done. Okay, now I'm going to be taking some of the comments, starting with YouTube. Like I said, we're streaming live, so go drop your comment. But before that, we talked about some stories that says the first one, which is 2027 presidency, no candidate can win without the North. Hakeem Baba Ahmed disclosed that. The second story says Tinubu inherited extremely bad government, says Ribado. Your statement based on political frustrations, Senate replies Pastor Bakari. Finnish court approves Simon Ekpa's extradition to Nigeria in July 2025. Southeast has resolved to support Tinubu in 2027, Senator Oji Uzo Kalu. So he's speaking, he said Southeast generally has resolved to support Tinubu, so come 2027. 2027, those forming coalition against Tinubu are content creators at Dara Molu. So now let's take some of the comments on YouTube. Tochuku Adele says, good day. It is true that no winner can emerge without the North. It is even more true because the Northern voters can hear their leaders and vote in one direction, but the South don't vote like that. Do you think the South doesn't vote?
The South doesn't vote that way.
That way, okay.
Yes. At least Southeast. At least Southeast.
Oh, okay.
Southeast don't back wrong candidates. We've never done that and will not do that.
The Northerners marry more wives and therefore bear more children and have sensitive all to believe so much that to vote during election is a task that must be done. He also said, but the Southerners are even indifferent to voting, not to talk of their religion, that told one man, one wife. Michael Egonu, what about former President Shehu Shagari? What about him? Please continue that statement. Tochukwu Adele, look, what are we talking about? It was a vote of Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, Borno, Bauchi, and Jigawa that won the 2015 and 2023 elections. The vote in the South were rickety and divided. Now, Tochuk Adele said, therefore, the thesis of others being that the opposition coalition Atiku Peter Obi should rather carry those mentioned northern state vote. Now, talking about voting, I think we used to have independent foreign observers in the election. Do you think that they've actually bought their side and been corrupt too? Because the foreign observers are all supposed to take note of this during the election processes. But
they have no power of enforcement. Whatever observation that they made, there's no way they can enforce it. So it doesn't really make sense.
Okay, Tochukwu also said the IMF policies are the water, while the Nigerian economy and the like of are the oil. They repel each other, and that's a problem, while Nigerian hasn't gotten any benefit since their practice of the IMFs. President Tinubu and the APC have bad faith in their practices of the IMF policies, and that's why they can't even tell how much and what has been done with the subsidy removal saving, for instance. Talking about subsidy removals. Is this a question? What have they actually done about the savings from the subsidy?
Nothing.
Afolari Adekunle says the world should know that Democratic Republic of the Yoruba is not part of Nigeria. What is this trying to say here? The world should know that Democratic Republic of the Yoruba is not part of Nigeria. How do you mean it's not part of Nigeria?
Maybe it should be part of Nigeria or Benin Republic.
I refuse to accept that as a Yoruba person. So you have to expatiate further. A lot. Same person. All word leaders. Democratic Republic of the Yoruba is not part of Nigeria. You repeated that again. Okay, let the truth be told now. To everything God created by God Almighty, Democratic Republic. Okay, this is an announcement of him talking about Yoruba people. Hirabo, Joe, beautiful lady, thank you. Tochuku Adele, well done. I mean, of course, I took all your comments. Thank you for dropping comment. Now, let's check what we have on WhatsApp. Like I said, you can drop your comment on WhatsApp on 0817 1756338, and of course the number to call in on 0803 692 9933. Anosike here in the studio, and of course I've been the host all the way from 4 o'clock. We still have an hour to go till 6 o'clock, so we have you here drive you down this beautiful journey on the program with us. Now on WhatsApp, good afternoon, my name is Kunle Major from Festac Town. I want to enlighten Mr. Anosike that anyone from a Muslim community can represent his or a country, because I saw some Arab people there on CNN today representing Muslim country. Please kindly know that Senate President is just nobody in Rome today, because I did not see them on television. He's right. Well, he's right. Anybody can represent the but you know, as it stands, as a Christian would rather go, because it's a Christian will flow more because a Christian program.
But you understand what is being said.
Yes. He will come back and give us feedback. At least the Senate is going to hold proceedings. Let's hope he's going to share his story as usual.
He can send it to our
emails, so we'll talk about it. If his media counterparts are hearing, because I'm sure the media is with him wherever he is. The current this is from the current National Assembly in Nigeria is the worst that we have in Nigeria since the session, worse than rubber stamp. I salute your guest in the studio, well articulated and truthful in all is saying. Emeka from Egbeda. Emeka salute Anosike in the studio, well articulated and truthful in all is saying. Anosike doesn't lie. That's why you should keep listening to the program every Saturday. You find it here analyzing some of the stories. Now, crisis in Labour and other opposition parties is obviously instigated and planted by APC, and that is why it seems unsolvable, because those that being used are founded with enough resources and best of lawyers. So advice is for likes and Mr. Peter Obi to remain focused and continue galvanized his politicians' capital, because it is between Nigerians and APC. If only INEC can purge themselves from manipulation. Chika Bende from Trade Fair Lagos. Now, Peter Obi said he's open to coalition only if it's for the interest of Nigerians.
But APC coalition was to grab power and share money.
Now let's take it the other way around. Something just occurred to me. What if the APC approaches Peter Obi?
If Peter Obi joins APC,
what if APC approaches Peter Obi? Because Peter Obi said, I am open to coalition.
I would disown him.
You would disown him?
I would sincerely. I would disown him. I would disown him.
You will, okay.
Understand me?
And the question you should have thrown to me is, as what or what position?
I said joining.
You don't even want to know if he's joining the APC or not. You just say you would disown him. You should ask me, what do you think? I mean, what position do you think the APC could actually say, okay, Peter Obi won a coalition?
I will begin to regard him the way I regard Abubakar Shakau.
And not let's forget that they are politicians.
There are something you must not do, because all that you have been built in the past, you destroy them in a day.
And talking of integrity, the man has integrity, because that was a story you analyzed on TV earlier in the morning where we talked about Peter Obi talked about 20,000 naira collection of monies what causing chaos in this country, and that's part of what is happening during the election.
Usifo is one of those that are collecting this 2020 thousand.
Well, it's what you know.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I don't know about it. So
Usifo is
Mr.
among
Obi
those.
mentioned that those collecting 20,000 naira are part of the people causing chaos in this country. They're not letting the country move forward. And Reno Mokri came for him that, okay, there's a picture of you sharing money. And somebody said, oh, come on, that's IDP camp where Peter Obi was sharing money to some of the children there. This is not what he's talking about. Anyway, let's get into some. I'm still reading some comment here. That was just a little bit of that. John from Ijaniki, Orji Kanu is just deceiving himself. Tinubu cannot win any local government in the southeast provided Obi is on the ballot.
It can never happen.
It can never. It can never happen.
Never. It can never happen.
We are here together. We are here. We're going to analyze the story here together. As always, evening to you in the studio. It's a welcome development for Finland court order. Sam Ekpa to be repatriated to Nigeria. I hope he joins Estari's brother, Nnamdi Kanu. I hope Nigeria judiciary will do justice quickly to both of them so that they can be put where they belong. And please tell your guests that the last election is transparent. That was why Peter Obi win Lagos State presidential election and come third in the results by INEC nationwide. And it is clear that your guests are still suffering from the defeat of last election from Adesina Wasiu in Ikorodu. You've not been listening well, Adesina.
Tell him that I'm more happier than him and will forever be happier than him.
Okay, Adesina, you have not been listening. Okay, I would accept the fact.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Whether he is one of these suffering and smiling, he's nowhere, and he is nowhere. Understand me? Peter Nosike is happier than him and will forever be happier than him.
Okay,
even if Tinubu rule for 30 years. Understand me? Even if Tinubu rule for 30 years, I'll be better than him.
Yes, additional, like your name just flew off my head. If you're listening, you need to take it calm. If you you know what you do? We have been live on YouTube, so you can go over all again when the show is off and listen more. Listen on the analysis very well. And of course, you're even right about the fact that Peter Obi, you talked about that's why Peter Obi win Lagos State presidential election. But
he's a shoe shiner. That's you're going to that side.
Well, is my fan on radio, so I need to enlighten him more. Good evening, Amina and Mr. Anosike. Anosike has said it all. I think so far the supporters of this government need special brain calibration. As for me, Tinubu's scorecard is 0 to 10. Ezekiel from Ejigbo. Good evening, VOP. Mr. Peter Anosike is the man President Tinubu needs a special advisor on economic matter. If Tinubu wants to be president in his lifetime, they do CGA from Immortal Corridor. I don't know if Mr. Anosike wants to go into politics.
My name is important to me.
I don't know if he wants to go into politics.
No, my name is important. I want to be remembered for good and not for joining those that are suffering the Nigerian masses.
Okay, now you can start calling in on 0803-692-9933. Oh, I'm yet to hear from my people, Jovial, Remy. Where are you guys? I hope you've been listening all the way down from 4 o'clock, and I trust you're gonna call in. And as for you new callers, I really encourage you to let's talk. Let's share more on what you have in mind. Hello, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, hello, lady. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening to Peter Anosike.
Your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Chike. I'm calling from my papa.
Okay, Chike, welcome.
Yes. I want to ask a question. The first question is, Mr. Peter Anosike have said something like that Simon Ekpa is a criminal. Yes, I agree with him. He is a criminal.
Okay.
And he has been arrested and is in a prison. So he's already languishing in prison. But we have another criminal who have committed times 10 of what Samuel Ekpa did, which is Bello Toriji. This guy were killing people out of fun on a Saturday when he was returning back. So he decided to tell his boys, out of happiness, kill some people around this environment. This Bell authority is in Nigeria forest. I'm mingling with some people in the community somewhere in Nigeria here. So what did Peter Anosike think is the reason why you have somebody who is living with us here, killing people every day by day? The government is not interested to go after that person, and they now want to spend money with all their strength and time to go bring somebody who is already languishing in prison. What do you think it could be the reason why government could be this incompetent? And finally, Ojus Okalo, I think that Ojus Okalo is only trying to, to know whether he wants to test the mind of the people, to know how he can prepare himself. So sometimes these politicians, they don't make statements because they want to make the statement. They want to know the minds of the people, and they now plan their way out. Nobody should pay attention to that kind of thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that analysis. The question is for you, Mr. Anas, again.
Well, the issue is that Turuji is still had not been arrested.
Yes.
Understand me?
Yes.
They are still looking for him. So when he's arrested, we will now know what government will do about it.
Hello, good evening. What's your
Hello,
name? Where are
good
you
evening.
calling from?
This is Selo calling from Uganda.
Selo, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, please, I have a little thing to contribute to your discussion or program this evening.
Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
One thing that surprises me about this country, Nigeria, is that I don't know the kind of people we are. APC as a political party is so arrogant. They do everything with reckless abandon.
Hello, please do call back. I'll really appreciate that. Now back to WhatsApp. Good day. There is no one that God cannot use, Mr. Anosike, only to obey fear and not lean on your own understanding. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. He's talking about Pastor Bakare, that you said God did not use Mr. Anosike. So, greatest VOP, the killings made by Asari Jokuboy in the southeast is higher than of Simon Ekpa's own. My question, what did the federal government do to Asari Jacobo? If nothing, then can we say that it was the federal government that sent him? It came back from Egbeda. Now, do you want to answer that? Okay, good evening, VOP. My name is Mohammed from Maza. I will vote for Peter Obi 2027. I will travel to my state because APC is worst party in Nigeria. Please tell your guests that Peter Obi will promise late Ojukwu that he will not leave APGA, but later move to PDP and later Labour Party. I can't understand you. Peter Obi that can't manage his party, sure. He can't manage Nigeria from additional Wasil in Ikorodu. Okay, additional, that is your only contribution. Good evening, Miss Amina and Oga Anosike. My name is Chinedu from Alaba International Market. I don't understand what is giving you people confidence and hope to continue discussing same issues of which everybody knows. Discussing Nigerian problems is like quoting Genesis chapter 1-1, which everybody knows. The more you people are discussing the Nigeria, the more you're given the idea to deal with us. You people will continue to explain tire without evidence, continue. But don't forget that media contributes to a lot, and of course for the layman that is just an Okada person or somebody, an old woman that just have a radio system that could listen, that to know what is going on in Nigeria. So we are an avenue to educate and of course give information. So if we don't keep talking about it, how will the government make a move? Remember that we keep advocating that where is our president when we have a lot of killings going on in Plateau, in Bauchi, and in Benue. We have earthmen everywhere, but our president is gone far. But here the media keep advocating. So I want you to see the importance of media in the country. Good luck to you. Good evening, Mr. Anosike, my journalist, Kayode Dayo. I know you are always this writing this the whole book. Good evening, Mr. Anosike, my journalist of the year, and Amina. For the people defecting to APC, it shows that loyalty for this government is cash and carry. Objection, mortuary. Everybody get agenda with a mercenary enterprise. You can see it's not about performance, no ideology, no capacity. It's all about the money and personal interest. Also, once you have looted your state dry, you're welcome to APC. Like Oshomole said, once you come to APC, your sins are forgiven. And you wonder what will this government will campaign on. But they intentionally weaponize poverty. They believe the people will be brought over during election time, where they have turned the people to beggars into Almajiri in the midst of plenty. Dio, Lagos, thank you, Dyer. Good evening, VOP family, and greetings to Mr. Peter, my man of the year. How are you, sir? The same World Bank that told Nigerians to have patience till 15 years, when the Renew Hope agenda will start bringing results, and they are saying now again that Nigeria will be the poorest country by 2027. It's like World Bank, they quick forget something. No. My name is Angel from Alagbado. You're still listening to the recap on 90.3 FM, and we have been discussing quite a lot of interesting stories. Not just interesting, but informative as well. And we could also provide solution for the government, because they are all listening. They have their representatives listening, monitoring radio stations. So in case you don't know, you have an impact, and your voice matters here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM especially. Now, talking about the headlines, let me take some of the headlines we talked about in case you're just joining in. Rather, we talked about 2027 presidency. No candidate can win without the North. Akim Baba Ahmed says that. Tinubu inherits extremely bad government. Ribado says that. Your statement is based on political frustration. Senate replies Pastor Bakari. Finnish court approves Simon Ekpa's extradition to Nigeria in July 2025. So we welcome him when he's here. Southeast has resolved to support Tinubu in 2027. On behalf of his Southeast, Senator Oji Uzokalo has defended you in Tinubu's administration that you are ready for Tinubu in 2027. 2027, those forming coalition against Tinubu are content creators, says Adara Molo. The number to call in is 0803-692-9933. Please, we are still streaming live on YouTube. Keep dropping your comment. I'm going to be taking them. This from YouTube. Ozo Obinwa says Ben Carlos should tell his village elders. Complete your statement. Kelly Stitches says, welcome, Amina. I'm just seeing you for the first time. I was away for a while and everything has almost changed. Where is Precious and Jude? Jude, you catch him in the morning on weekdays as well. Thank you. So let's go back some of the comment on WhatsApp. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from my door.
Michael, welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like your analysis. You are trying well. God will bless you. God will protect you, your family, in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to contribute as one of the callers said. What of the offense Salim Tokunbo commit, and he was killing Igbo people in the East East, and nobody arrested him. Why are they? Is it because of they know? Why are they arresting in Jamaica? But the one that committed in Nigeria, they didn't arrest him. I want to just answer that question. Why they didn't arrest in Salim Tokunbo and they?
Sorry about that. Please don't call back. I don't know. I would really love to hear from you. Good evening, VOP family, and greetings. Oh, I already take that. If Additional was still president and his musketeers has done well, why are you forcing governors to join your party by saying if you don't join us, you are going to make sure they won't win their second term, and if they should win, they will use cash and INEC and judiciary to make them to lose? It's glaring that they have compromised all institutions for 2027 election gain. That is why all the money they are borrowing now are looting is for 2027. Now, Mr. Anosike, you want to say more to this?
Well, the issue is this. APC as a party is a bad product. And I know that nobody in his right senses will go and buy a bad product. The only reason why people are defecting to APC is one, out of fear. Those of them who the only reason why people are defecting to APC is out of fear.
Name and where you calling from? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Afun Wadama.
Okay.
I'm calling from Idim.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah, why I'm calling, I'm not supposed to call because I don't get data. I go borrow the data now.
Oh.
I support Mr. Peter Nosike for saying that if P2B join the APC, we will disown him. Me say I go disown him by myself, but I know that they cannot do that because all the whole people will join APC get case to answer for EFCC custody. All the whole people, because when he entered there, I see he's already forgive. So P2B don't have any case for any EFCC custody from beginning to the end. That's why they're proud to work anyhow. So he can't join APC. That's my own contribution. Thank you.
Yes, that's a fact. If P2B joins APC, he has destroyed his name. It will be like a spilled milk or a broken egg.
Hello, good evening.
Amina.
Hello.
Good evening, Amina.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is Joval.
I know. With the
Mr.
voice.
Peter Anosike. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes. I want to start from the person who said that the last election, there's this music from your station is really loud on this WhatsApp here. Let me start from saying that the person who said the last election conducted by INEC was won or was fair, that was credible. That person is missing something. I don't want to talk about the person who won or the person who did not win the election. I want to talk about the election properly now. INEC deceived Nigerians. And nobody is held responsible for that, especially the chairman of INEC. He deceived us. He told Nigerians that there will be election result transmission through the IREV, if I'm not mistaken there, that it will be transmitted online from the point where you have voted. We'll be seeing it direct. That's what he told us. So the person said the election was free and fair, that P2B won Lagos because that shows the election was free and fair. No, it was after they saw that P2B was leading in Lagos and was leading in every other key places. If you notice the last election result that was counted in this Alimosho local government in Lagos State, the one at Ojo, took time before the results. There could be no manipulation that would be enough to scuttle it. So they let that one go. Then at that point in time, whatever happened to that area now took place. INEC deceived Nigerians and robbed Nigerians. So that's what happened. That's by the way. So now I'm hearing that there will be voting without what is it called? The voter's card. I don't know what INEC is planning again. The president is doing everything to succeed himself for the second tenure. I am not against any second tenure, but I am against any person who is been running this country, subjecting Nigerians to poverty and suffering, wanting to continue again. Those who are supporting this government, they are just few numbers. And the majority of Nigerians are lamenting. Aisha, the good book says that when a good person is on the throne, the people will rejoice. That's how you know how many persons are rejoicing. Even if nobody knows anything, you would understand that the cost of things have gone magically. I'm using the word magically because it's not miraculous.
In 1 minute,
yes,
please.
I will wrap up now.
Okay.
Magically, things have gone out of place. And there's no hope in sight. All these governors that are changing parties, running to APC, they are just there for their personal aggrandizement to want to make money. Nigerians should wake up.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. He said Nigerians should wake up. Your voice, our voice is strong. We keep advocating for this, and hopefully one day the change doesn't start. Rome is not built in a day, and it's definitely going to get better. Hello. Okay, I lost that. Good evening, VOP, the people's choice. the people's voice. Please, can I get Mr. Peter Anoseke's number and Mr. Lawrence, your regular listener? So you have a fan there, Mr. Anoseke. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Good evening. Yeah, my name is Ugo.
Okay, good evening, Ugo. Welcome.
Yes, my Mr. Anosuke, good evening, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, what I want to say, I want to respond, as I would always say. My name is Ugo, calling from Ajegule. So it hurts me so much. People were calling and asking, why is Tunji Bello not being persecuted, just as the rest of the Igbo people who they feel has committed something in this succession are being arrested.
He had not been
See,
arrested.
people.
He had not been arrested.
I know, sir. What I'm trying to say is, the earlier people know that there's some sort of agreement between Nigerian politicians and the northern sections. It's better for them. Let us even leave the north. Let us see how northerners, more especially those from the Fulani areas, are even being treated here in Lagos. Let us leave that north. Let us talk about Lagos. Look as the northerners are being treated here in Lagos. Is it in the custom area? Is it in police area? Look at the way they treat those people. What people don't know is that for you to win election in this country, like to manipulate election in this country, you need the northerners, those Fulani people, to remain the way they are. Uneducated, you need them to remain that way. That is why whenever they do, that's why they always give them soft landing. That is why anything you see the northerners do, there is always this soft landing. You carry your there's an issue with a job at the custom, just find a northern man and give that job. You will see they will release that job. There's a problem going on the road. You will see, hey, Hausa person, before you know, people will gather. I keep telling them, I will keep telling them tomorrow. And Mr. Anosike, I'm sure you have heard this voice before. The northerners don't like themselves. Forget all these things they are doing, that are deceiving themselves. Because if they really like themselves, the worst educational system in this country is from the north.
They tell you that they're interested in education. They're not even interested in education.
They're not even interested in it. That is the thing. And they're not as if they're not interested in it. The politicians are the one that made them not to be interested in it, to make it look as if the education is not of even any relevance for them.
Thank you so much.
That's the problem. That is.
Thank you so much. That was a very insightful analysis from you. Yeah, it's quite right at some point. Mr. Anosike, what do you think?
Well, one of the reasons they were criticizing Jonathan's administration was because he was building schools in the north.
Exactly.
So, education changes people. Education opens the eyes of people. Understand? So, education makes you to think,
enlighten you, open your eyes to, okay, this is right, this is wrong. Just the way we are advocating for this, for a betterment of the country. We need to enlighten the people that are non-educated. If you're listening, these are the things. I mean, the country needs to do better. Good evening, VOP. Please, Mr. Anosike, why is 2G Bello still operating in Nigeria? I thought we were promised by the military. Chima Surulere. Chima, thank you. Greetings, Amina and Peter. It's ND from North Korea. Amina, your dedication to your work at the radio station is truly inspiring. Well done to the Nigerian youth. I ask, are you ready to take the reins and shape your own future? Amina, smile often. Your voice deserves to be heard, and I am honored to tune in. Okay, thank you so much. I really smile so well. I won't mix this call though. Hello.
Aminat and Uncle Peter.
Hello, welcome. I've been just the way I'm advocating for the betterment of Nigeria. I've been advocating your name, Remy. That okay? I didn't hear you calling last week due to the weather.
Thank you. You see, yeah, I was just busy hustling. Now we gotta hustle. Thanks for picking my call and a good job you're doing.
Thank you. I have just 2 minutes for you.
Yes, I know. Okay. Every part of Nigeria said people. Nigerians are no more wrong.
Hello? Hello?
People. Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, for any politician to come out and say, we the Eastern people, we the Northern people, we want to support Asiwaju. Come on, they are just speaking for their own pockets. I tell you, Igbo people are not dumb people because they voted for Obasanjo twice. Even though in one of those elections, their own Pekin was running. But they have confidence in Obasanjo. They follow people. They follow politicians that have sense. Now, I want us to be careful. This defection to APC, I don't believe it is about 2027. It is more about constitutional change. That's why I want us to be careful. Tinubu wants to change the constitution. Lastly, look, guys, I just finished a trilogy from pre-First World War to up until the fall of Soviet Union. Look, the only thing that can make these people succeed, our oppressor succeed, is our own apathy and fear. If we decide not to do something, they can't withstand us. Go and read about how the Berlin
so far. We are streaming live on YouTube, and you can still join us. But before we go, let me take you back to the headlines and what we have talked about so far. Hello, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, go ahead, please.
My name is Mary. I'm calling from First Start.
Welcome.
Yeah, the issues you people are discussing, well done. We are doing well.
Thank you.
On the issue of defection, you see, our politicians, that is why most times are going to wonder the type of brain, because in those days, when we hear about politicians in the Second Republic, you'll be eager. When you see them, we're doing campaign, you'll be eager to go and listen to them to learn. But these ones, now, most of them are just empty, honestly. In those days, when you hear Mbakwe, Michael Okpara, Dr. Ajikiwe speak, you must learn something. Because this issue of defection, we have passed through this road before. Remember, if you remember, I remember in 1997, 98, when everybody was talking about Abacha, the only man that can save this country, the only man that can. Everybody used anything as for Abacha. One guy was even, Namde Kano, Daniel Kano, was even the chief editor of Abacha. At the end of the day, what happened? Abacha went the way of all mortals, and Nigeria continued. People are doing the same thing, making Tinubu like a demigod now, because everybody is going to APC because they feel that they will win the election in only APC, where you drag, you grab, run away. We will see how it's going to pan out, because definitely it's not going to work. I feel this coming election 27, will be a tug of war between Nigerians, the oppressed Nigerians, the suffering Nigerians, and APC. So, aside this is, like I support this idea, we should continue to talk about reforms in INEC. But if I'm getting ready to vote, and wait, and even let INEC also come to APC, let them stay together at the same side. Then we wait for them, because this thing is getting out of hand. You cannot continue to run a country where people will be suffering and dying, killings. People that herdsmen are not killing, hunger is killing them, and we are talking about 2027. So Nigerians should get ready. This will be the last battle, because and what happened in 2023 should not happen again. People should come out and fight this cabal, this element that they want to destroy this country. They are unpatriotic. They are wicked, and we will show them that this country does not belong to them. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much for that analysis. We really do appreciate that your call. People were saying, okay, this one says Dayo is always giving me back to back. Before 2027 elections, Nigeria must seek for electoral reforms. First, to remove Yakubu and his gangs. Also, the executive must not select INEC chairman, but Nigerians must choose themselves. Hello, good evening.
How are you? Good evening, Amina.
Good evening. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah. She's calling from Maja.
Okay, welcome. Please make your contributions.
My regards to the analyst. It is our opposition leaders. Somebody must give in because of Nigerians, not because of their personal interest. I want Honorable Anosike to please expatiate on this. Nigerians need one person to clamor for. If we don't start it from now, I am afraid it is going to be a easy wrong for the ruling party. They have all the patois in their, cutting. They have the INEC, they have the police, they have the army, they have everything.
They are everywhere.
That power of incumbency, they have the money to use and to spend. I don't know where Nigerians are going to be. They will penetrate Nigerians. People that want to fight are still Nigerians with them. It is not spirit that are with them. It is still Nigeria.
Thank you so much. That is if we come out and talk in a collective voice, not some people saying something else. Why some people will be collecting something else. Hello, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
What they take, no room for them again. What they take, no room for them again. And the time has come that we have to fight for our rights. The time has come that Nigerians has to say no to intimidation, to frustration, to starvation, and to killing. Enough is enough. When things are too much, when we are tired, definitely you must wake up to fight for solution to yourself. It is time for us now to find solution to ourselves. These people that have done a lot, we have suffered a lot, we challenged a lot, we respected them a lot.
Exactly.
So there's no respect for them again, no regard for them again. We don't have anything for them. What we stand for now is for us to get up and fight for our own right before these people will bury all of us alive. It is not done this way. It is not done this way, man. Please, let's forget about what we suffered at the past. Then let's work again towards the future.
Thank you so much. For that, let's move forward. We keep talking about this. 2 more calls before we wrap up. Hello, good evening. Good evening. I'm glad you called yourself off, but you can't listen to 2 things at the same time. Listen to your gadget and, of course, calling at the same time. You have to release one for another. So, in case you're just joining us, this is the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Hello, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Amuadofi. I want to contribute to the people in the studio there.
Thank you so much.
All right, my sister, thank you. What I am concerned about is how do we, the electorate, protect our votes on that particular day? Because I think that is the only way we can stand up to say no to this evil that is going on. What way do we as in stand up and fight and to defend our food, because that's where I'm seeing the problem.
All right, thank you so much for that. You said, how can the people should rise up? And meanwhile, while we're talking about democracy, while we're talking about people should stand up and take how do we secure our vote? How do we vote the right person into power? How do we make our voice heard? And now let me just take a few on this book, Abuse of Power. It says how democracy turned into tyranny of the few. That is from Peter Anosike. Yeah, and it's quite lovely. Take democracy. Democracy belongs to the people. Enough of abuse of power, enough of abuse of office. So take democracy. Democracy belongs to the people. That's a whole lot of that was written in the book. And I would also really employ everyone to also learn from what is written in the book, How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. And that's exactly what we are experiencing in the country right now. Hello, good evening.
What's
your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Agro.
Michael, welcome. You're coming from my area.
Yeah.
So contribute, please.
The last call, make sure what can we do to protect our vote? Most of this during the election time, I'm a people and the police, they are the one that is causing those problems, because they will come with gun and they say we should pack all this thing. Before you know what is happening, they will not allow the people to count their votes. They will be chasing people with their guns. That's the most important. They should tell people they should stay away from the election time. So that they will not use gun to threaten people. But I remember the last time I voted, they used gun to threaten us in our area voting. They say we should not cut it again. We should pack all the votes, everything. We should put it inside their motor. They out. That's the most important thing. Because they will with their gun. We that voting, we are not with any weapon. And we cannot challenge them. That's the discussion army and police and any forces that will use gun. That's the most important thing. Please, they should do that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Anosike, you want to say something?
I want to say something. I am familiar with the INEC rules. as an election observer. At least for the past 15 years, I've been observing an election. According to INEC rule, even though it is not being practiced, gun is not supposed to come at the vote. That's at any polling unit.
The polling units.
Army are to stay. That's on the road. Army are to stay on the road with their guns. The policemen, the civil defense people that come to the voting unit, to the voting centers, are not supposed to be armed. This is what the INEC rule.
They could also be securing the ballot boxes, so they could stay a few minutes far away from the polling units.
No, what I mean that,
or just within the area.
The policemen and the civil defense, this paramilitary that are supposed to monitor elections, that come to where people are voting, are not supposed to be armed.
Okay.
The army that is supposed to be armed is not supposed to be at the polling unit. It's supposed to be on the road.
Okay.
So this is what the INEC rules stated. But they don't observe it. So any army man that come inside the polling station with a gun is not is a criminal.
Wow.
It's a criminal.
So let me take some of the comments on YouTube. Okay, that no much comment on YouTube. One more call before we wrap up on the program today. It says, before election 2027, one more call. My last caller for the day. Hello, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from? What have I done now? You said now, how? I picked your call.
Wow, I've been calling. My phone is dead, sir. I've been calling since morning. No way.
Oh, your voice must be heard. That's why you of course, your voice is heard. Please go ahead.
I'll greet Mr. Peter there.
Thank you so much.
You see, I don't want to talk about the Ojus or Kalo that is saying that the whole Igbo is going to vote for. I think he doesn't have authority to say that, because the Igbo society is an egalitarian society. Everybody decides for himself. You cannot sit in your house because you want to be favored, or you want to win your senatorial zone to go back to that. You are now telling Buhari, Tinubu, that the whole Igbos want to vote for him. Where was that meeting held? I think the people are just deceiving the president, and unfortunately, the man will believe them. It's very pathetic, but that's not my focus. The other man that was telling us that in the past 2 years, the reforms, the policies of the president have brought a lot of, I don't know what he's talking about. Is it the fuel that is very expensive now? I don't want to buy fuel now. I can't buy fuel to put in my generator. There's no light. Is it a bag of rice? Well, rice was still 30,000. Now, I bought rice recently. It was 85,000. What are the reforms that he brought? What is it the increment in everything in Nigeria? And you are there telling the president that the reforms in 2 years the masses have been enjoying. What are we enjoying? Some of them are just deceiving this man. And these are the people. I don't even blame Tinubu. I blame the people who go there to deceive him. I'm sure because the man is not having the touch of this. He doesn't even know. They'll just go and tell him that we are all supporting. Me, I'm not supporting you, Oga. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. You can see I give you adequate time for you to say what you have to say, and you say bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Anasike, you want to contribute to that?
Well, the president is like Buddha. When Buddha was growing up, his parents, they don't want him to know that there are suffering in the world, that there's death in the world. So he was shielded from suffering, from poverty, until one day at 21, he decided that to jump out of the fence. It was when he went outside that he saw poverty for the first time. So the president, Nigerian president, is like Buddha. They shield him from poverty. They shield him from death. They only give him information that Nigerians are happy with you. Nigerians want you to continue. Understand me? So, and that's that. So the president is not getting the right information that he's supposed to get. Remember when Nai Mohammed said that nobody is hungry in Nigeria?
Oh man. I wasn't meant to laugh, but oh my God, the best minister so far. Man,
that's nobody is hungry in Nigeria.
Nobody is hungry. We are all enjoying. We're not suffering. No, the opposite of sufferingness is enjoyment. So it rather is told say that we are enjoying ourselves. The last but not the least on WhatsApp says, yes, it's true, no president can win without the support from the north, and also nobody can win without the support from the south. The example we all see, how former President Buhari contested several times and he did not win until he got support from south. That was when he won from additional Wasiu Inikorodu. For all of you that have called in to contribute, and for all those of you that are watching live as we stream on YouTube, and you also left comment, I've taken all your comment and picked up your calls. I hope I'm justified. Nobody will say, Aminana, wow. Thank you so much for joining in. And as we keep talking about this issue, trust me, they are heard. Your voice are heard. We have monitoring agencies, federal government. They're monitoring radio stations and TV stations. They're taking one note or one or two, and we keep advocating for a better country. Thank you so much. Being here all the way from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We do that same time every Saturdays on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And Osike, you want to say something to your listeners?
I want to thank the listeners for staying with us these 2 hours.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Now, somebody that is listening to me said, read my message. Hey, okay, that means your message has been here. I've not read it before you. Mr. Anosikem Barry said, Darlington's action lack conviction. Oh, I'm not going. If that is what you want me to read, I will not read it. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely weekend and Sunday ahead. Bye for now.